Did you know that some of Hollywood's brightest stars were hiding shocking secrets behind the glamour? What if I told you that beneath their red carpet smiles, many lived entire lives no one ever suspected? Old Hollywood was full of charm, fame, and mystery, but behind the scenes, some of the biggest names in the industry were leading double lives. In today's video, we'll uncover 20 stars who managed to keep their secrets hidden, living lives that were completely different from what the public ever saw. From secret romances to hidden identities, these Hollywood legends took their private lives to unimaginable extremes. Stay tuned as we reveal some jaw-dropping stories you won't believe. Number 20. Esther Williams, The Shocking Secret Affair. Esther Williams, Hollywood's aquatic queen, had a sparkling career in musicals, but behind the scenes, she had her secrets. In her memoir, Williams revealed a passionate affair with actor Jeff Chandler. They were on the verge of marriage, but one day, Williams walked into her bedroom to a shocking sight. Chandler, whom she knew as a manly figure, dressed in a gown, wig, and high heels. Williams immediately ended the relationship and kept the secret for years until her tell-all exposed the truth. Number 19. Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson's world was rocked when he discovered the truth about his upbringing. He had always thought his parents raised him, but after their deaths, he learned that his parents were his grandparents. His real mother was his 17-year-old sister, June, who had kept the secret because of the stigma surrounding her underage pregnancy. Number 18. John Garfield, Hollywood's tragic rebel. John Garfield was one of Hollywood's most compelling actors, known for his brooding, everyman persona. Born Jacob Julius Garfinkel in 1913, he rose from the tough streets of New York's Lower East Side to stardom in films like The Postman Always Rings Twice and Body and Soul. But Garfield's career took a dark turn during the Red Scare of the 1950s. With left-leaning views and rumored communist ties, he was subpoenaed by the House Un-American Activities Committee. Despite refusing to name names, his defiance led to his blacklisting, cutting his career short. Rumors also swirled about connections to organized crime. The intense pressure took a toll on Garfield's health, and he died from a heart attack at just 39. His tragic end came too soon for a man whose talent and integrity could have carried him far. But what became of Garfield after the blacklisting? Stay tuned as we uncover the tragic end of another star whose life was marred by the pressures of Hollywood's dark side. Number 17. Cary Grant. When Cary Grant was just 9 years old, his mother suddenly vanished from his life. At first, his father told him she was away at a seaside resort. Later, he claimed she had died. A devastating lie. The truth didn't come out until years later when Cary was 31. On his deathbed, his father finally revealed the shocking secret. Grant's mother wasn't dead at all. She had been alive the whole time, but locked away in a mental institution, put there by his father so he could pursue another woman. Horrified, Grant traveled to England to reunite with his mother and bring her back into his life. Number 16. Barbara Stanwyck, the alleged spy. Barbara Stanwyck, born Ruby Catherine Stevens in 1907, became one of Hollywood's most powerful and versatile actresses. Her tough, no-nonsense persona was admired on screen, but behind the scenes, rumors of connections to mobsters and covert activities began to surface. Her career skyrocketed with films like Stella Dallas and Double Indemnity, but her personal life, including a rocky marriage to actor Robert Taylor, was filled with drama. In the 1940s and 1950s, Stanwyck was active in rooting out communism in Hollywood, aligning with the House Un-American Activities Committee. However, rumors suggested she was secretly working to expose and undermine communist influences, gaining both power and enemies in the process. But what happened to Stanwyck after the scandal? Up next, we uncover the mysterious death of a journalist who dug too deep into the JFK assassination. Number 15. Dorothy Kilgallen. Dorothy Kilgallen, a renowned journalist and TV personality, became obsessed with uncovering the truth behind President Kennedy's assassination. Skeptical of the Warren Commission's findings, she interviewed key figures like Jack Ruby and believed there was more to the story. Kilgallen's investigation led her to dangerous individuals, placing her in risky situations. In November 1965, she was found dead under mysterious circumstances with an overdose of alcohol and barbiturates. The strange details surrounding her death and the disappearance of her notes fueled speculation that she was silenced. But what really happened to Dorothy Kilgallen? Up next, we reveal the shocking life of a comedian whose financial troubles were far from funny. Number 14. Joan Crawford, a past MGM wanted erased. Joan Crawford, one of Hollywood's brightest stars, carried a scandalous secret from her early days. Before her fame, rumors claim she appeared in an underage pornographic film, a revelation that could have destroyed her career. MGM allegedly worked behind the scenes to erase every trace, scouring for and destroying any existing copies to preserve her pristine image. In 1943, Crawford left the studio and paid them $50,000, a staggering sum at the time. Was it merely a contractual settlement, or was Crawford buying their silence to ensure her past never came to light? Number 13. John Huston, a tragedy in the director's chair. Before becoming one of Hollywood's most celebrated directors, John Huston endured a tragedy that almost ended his career before it began. While driving in Los Angeles, he accidentally struck and killed a young dancer named Tosca Roulian. The court cleared him of any wrongdoing, but Huston was overcome with guilt. He abandoned Hollywood, wandering Europe for 5 years to escape the memory of that night. When he finally returned, he crafted some of cinema's greatest works, yet the tragedy lingered in his shadow. Did Huston's haunting past influence his art, and was his self-imposed exile enough to ease his conscience? Number 12. Burt Lancaster. Burt Lancaster, Hollywood's golden boy, found himself in the crosshairs of J. Edgar Hoover. FBI documents from the 1950s reveal Hoover's fixation on Lancaster, including rumors of homosexual affairs. Some believe it was a baseless smear campaign, but the whispers followed him for the rest of his life. What fueled Hoover's obsession, and how did Lancaster endure it? Number 11. Anthony Perkins. Anthony Perkins, the psycho star, was a man of many secrets, but the most devastating truth surfaced just before his death, leaving fans stunned. For years, Perkins and Hollywood heartthrob Tab Hunter carried on a passionate affair, hiding it from the world by posing as college buddies. Their romance lasted 3 years, but that was only the tip of the iceberg. When a tabloid claimed Perkins had HIV, the actor dismissed it, until a test confirmed the shocking diagnosis. How did the media learn the truth before he did? Determined to protect his career and privacy, Perkins battled AIDS in silence, with only his wife and family by his side. Even his hospital visits were cloaked in secrecy. What other secrets did this Hollywood legend take to his grave? Number 10. Lauren Bacall. Lauren Bacall's Hollywood beginnings were as dramatic as her films. She captivated director Howard Hawks, who launched her career, but when she fell for Humphrey Bogart, Hawks was left bitter and betrayed. "Bogey fell in love with the character she played," Hawks once said, "and she had to keep playing it for the rest of her life." Did Bacall ever escape the role that defined her? Number 9. Ingrid Bergman. Ingrid Bergman was the picture of grace, captivating audiences with her on-screen romances. But behind the scenes, her real-life love stories were just as intense. During the filming of Spellbound in 1945, Bergman and Gregory Peck embarked on a passionate affair that remained a secret for decades. Peck finally revealed the truth, saying, "I had a real love for her." Both stars were married at the time, and their relationship ended as quickly as it began. But how did this brief, fiery romance affect their lives, and was it truly left in the past? Stay tuned, because up next is a star whose life took a dramatic and shocking turn after the cameras stopped rolling. Number 8. Bob Hope. To the public, Bob Hope was the picture-perfect family man, but behind the scenes, his private life was rife with scandal. Hope's secret affairs became Hollywood's worst-kept secret. Insiders whispered about the star's penchant for young women, with stories of multiple beauties waiting outside his hotel room. In 1949, Hope began an affair with actress Barbara Payton, even setting her up in a private Hollywood apartment. But Payton's demands for gifts and attention grew overwhelming, and Hope eventually ended the relationship, paying her to keep quiet. Unfortunately for Hope, Payton didn't stay silent. In 1956, she spilled the details of their affair in a tell-all interview, tarnishing the star's squeaky clean image. Number 7. Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor turned his pain into comedy, but his childhood was anything but funny. Raised in a brothel by his abusive grandmother, Pryor faced unimaginable hardships. His mother, a prostitute, eventually abandoned him, leaving him in the care of his grandmother. His father, an absent hustler, wasn't much help either. Despite these traumatic beginnings, Pryor rose to become one of the most influential comedians of all time. channeling his struggles into groundbreaking humor that resonated with millions. Number 6. Mo Howard, Drowning in Debt. Mo Howard, born Moses Harry Horowitz on June 19, 1897, in Brooklyn, New York, is best known as the leader of the beloved comedy trio, the Three Stooges. His iconic bowl haircut and slapstick humor made him a household name, alongside Larry Fine and Curly Howard. However, despite his fame and success, Mo Howard's life was not as carefree as his comedic persona suggested. Behind the scenes, Howard struggled with financial issues, most notably caused by a gambling addiction that spiraled out of control. The heavy gambling debts forced him to seek the help of questionable associates to manage his money troubles. This dark side of Howard's life contrasted sharply with the public image of the affable, funny stooge. But what happened to Mo Howard as his financial troubles deepened? Up next, we explore another star whose financial woes led him down a dangerous path, far from the laughter he brought to millions. Number 5. Rory Calhoun, From Prison to Hollywood Star. Rory Calhoun's journey from criminal to Hollywood star is nothing short of remarkable. Born Francis Timothy McCow, he spent time in prison for armed robbery before turning his life around. After his release, he worked odd jobs, eventually catching the eye of talent agent Henry Wilson, who helped rebrand him as Rory Calhoun. He starred in westerns and adventure films, keeping his criminal past a closely guarded secret. His tough guy image resonated with audiences, but his rise to fame came with constant fear that his past would be exposed. Calhoun worked hard to leave his old life behind, proving that even the roughest beginnings couldn't stop him from achieving Hollywood success. But what happened to Calhoun as his career continued to soar? Next, we dive into the next shocking story of a star whose dark past couldn't stay hidden forever. Number 4. Ann Miller, The Blues Away with Tragedy. Ann Miller, Hollywood's most dazzling tap dancer, was known for her radiant performances, but behind the glamour hid a tragedy that nearly destroyed her. In 1946, after marrying wealthy scrap iron heir Reese Milner, Ann's life took a horrifying turn. Milner, a man with unpredictable mood swings and a violent temper, was the worst nightmare Ann could imagine. What no one knew was that Milner had suffered a traumatic head injury years before, leaving him prone to aggression. This volatile nature soon turned toward Ann, and in a terrifying incident, he threw her down a flight of stairs while she was 9 months pregnant. The fall fractured her back, and soon after, she went into labor. Ann gave birth to her daughter Mary, but heartbreakingly, the baby only lived for 3 hours before passing away. The media reported a car accident, hiding the truth of Ann's tragic ordeal. But what happened to Ann after this devastating loss? Up next, we uncover the shocking family secret that turned Michael Caine's world upside down. Number 3. Michael Caine, A Family Secret Uncovered. Michael Caine, the legendary British actor, always thought he knew everything about his family, until his mother's death revealed a secret that changed everything. Caine had a younger brother named Stanley, and an older half-brother named David, but he had no idea David even existed until after his mother's passing. Even his father was unaware of David's existence. This hidden family member had spent his entire life in a hospital due to severe epilepsy, a secret the family matriarch kept guarded until her death. Up next, we explore the shocking twists in another star's life. Number 2. Bugsy Siegel, Gangster and Hollywood Dreamer. Bugsy Siegel, born Benjamin Siegel, was a notorious gangster who tried to mix his violent criminal life with Hollywood glamour. He co-founded Murder Inc., a group of contract killers, and became infamous for bootlegging, gambling, and violence. In the 1930s, he moved to California, where he tried to break into the film industry while expanding his criminal empire. Siegel rubbed elbows with Hollywood's elite, investing in films and dreaming of becoming a movie producer. His ambitious project, the Flamingo Hotel in Las Vegas, ultimately led to his downfall. His mob connections and lavish spending caught the attention of his associates, who killed him in 1947. Bugsy's life was a dangerous mix of crime and glamour, and in the end, it cost him everything. But what was the final straw that led to Siegel's downfall? Up next, we explore the rise and fall of another star whose dangerous lifestyle ultimately caught up with him. Number 1. Elizabeth Scott. Ever wondered about the dark secrets of Hollywood stars? Elizabeth Scott, a glamorous icon of the 1950s, led a double life that no one saw coming. Born Emma Maddow Scott, Hollywood molded her into a tough, glamorous star with a fake biography and a carefully crafted persona. While critics praised her performances, her personal life was anything but ordinary. Unlike many stars who played along with romantic publicity stunts, Scott stayed out of the spotlight when it came to dating, leading to gossip about her sexuality. What Hollywood didn't know was that Scott was a lesbian. While male stars had some room for discretion, lesbians faced severe consequences for being open about their sexuality. To keep her secret, Scott often traveled to Paris, where she had a relationship with an openly gay Parisian entertainer. But when she returned to Hollywood, she sought the company of discreet call girls. Her secret life came crashing down when the tabloid Confidential got its hands on the address books of Hollywood's top call girls. One of them sold Scott out, and soon her double life was exposed to the public. The once glamorous star's career would never be the same. Which of these revelations shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And don't stop here. There's so much more to uncover. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next deep dive into old Hollywood's most fascinating stories. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep the spotlight shining on the truth.